when it comes to something like archetypes, that probably, a word that a lot of people haven't heard yet before. How do you define it, and what do you mean by kind of the work that you found around archetypes?
Well, archetypal psychology has been around for about 50 years. My partner in the work, Lawrence Hillman, is actually the son of James Hillman, the founder of archetypal psychology. So we started a little club many years ago called The Sun Also Rises, because we were both kind of
Nice
overshadowed
one.
by our dads in different ways. Um, and we put our sort of knowledge together. My work of being able to activate desired futures, which is what mythodrama is about. It's about acting in your desired future. And his expertise as an archetypal coach. And the archetypes are underlying patterns of human nature and culture. It's like on the surface, what we show to the world is our personality. Right. And then underneath that, we could talk about our psychology, what happened to me as a child, or what my kind of natural passions are. Underneath the psychology, there's a deeper layer that is archetypal, that exists, pre-exists anyone's individual, birth or life, that are patterns that go throughout time and throughout history. And the patterns, different cultures will kind of prioritize different archetypal patterns. Archetypes have many different guises. They used to be known as gods. Gods, goddesses, they were the great mythic figures in all the great mythology of the world. These are archetypal figures. The Romans and Greeks had them. The Romans started connecting these archetypes with gods and planets, so that Mars became both the warrior god and the planet Mars. Venus became the goddess of love as well as the planet Venus. So these archetypes have been with us forever. And I think since the first cave painting, since the first creative expressions of human consciousness, we created typologies and types. Now the archetypes are very deep. A stereotype is superficial, kind of two-dimensional, whereas an archetype is almost four-dimensional. It exists through time and space. But of course, in every age, and we would argue in every individual, it has its own unique expression. So we never become an archetype. It's like we use an archetypal energy which expresses itself through our body in different ways.
Perhaps before you show us more about how you apply archetypes, I'm curious as to where you think the origin story, if you like, or the teleology, of kind of where the archetypes come from, because it's easy to sort of spot them after the fact and go, okay, this is a storyteller or a creator, or one of the archetypes based on what they exhibit in their traits. But do you think that it comes from something else, perhaps somewhere deeper in our nature? Feel free to speculate, but maybe it kind of crosses over into the realm of belief, but I'm not sure. But where does that originate from? Is that something in our DNA? Is that something in the kind of the spiritus mundi, or how do you derive
so. I think pretty close. I don't think you can prove anything about archetypes. For me, they're underlying patterns. Yeah, so it's not something that you can put a rubber stamp on, but it's something you feel when you're in the presence of. And that's what it is. It's a felt reality. And we can define them in lots of different ways, but we've found a way to define the archetypes in a set of 10 archetypes that for us encompasses all the energies that you need to work with in your life to be an effective agent for your purpose. And indeed, we would argue that it is your archetypal pattern that will deeply inform your purpose in the world. So understanding your archetypal pattern can help you guide people towards their purpose. And particularly when we work with mentors and with leaders, understanding your archetypal pattern is key part of figuring out your purpose.